y'all. I apologize in advance for the energy in this video. I am not feeling it. I do not want to film it for no particular reason other than I've been in a bad mood all weekend. So, you know, hormones, whatever. But here I am because I'm dedicated or something. So let's get the weigh-in out of the way. Last week I weighed in at 201.2. And yesterday, being Saturday, I weighed in at 200.6. So that is a loss of 0.6 pounds. Another half a pound. I really have no room to complain. At least it's a loss. I do understand that. But damn it. I have been so close to Wonderland for what seems like forever now. And it's just like the slowest creeping along. And it's driving me absolutely nuts. And I'm trying really hard not to make it a thing. But damn. So, yay for a loss. Boo for still being in the 200s. I am considering cutting my calories down a little bit, not to get to Wonderland, but because, I mean, yes, to get to Wonderland in a way, but not as, I'm not cutting my calories just to get to Wonderland. And I'm not even plateauing, so I'm just considering it right now. I'm not going to do it just yet. Because to be in an honest plateau, you need to have not lost weight for a significant amount of time. And I keep losing just very little at a time. But once you lose a certain amount of weight, you do need to continue to cut your calories, and that's just the way that a calorie deficit works. So I'm thinking of maybe knocking down my calories. We'll see. I'm not jumping on it just yet, but I am thinking about it. So it's just it's slowing down enough for me to get prepared for the plateau, I guess. Do with that what you will. So last weekend was the Wharf to Wharf 10K, and it was my first 10K in a very long time. It's my first foot race of any kind in a very long time. I want to say the last time I did one was 2016, somewhere in that range. So it's been a minute. And while I didn't fully train, I have been working out for an hour every single day for months now. And it made a difference. It made a big difference. Plus, dropping the 70 pounds, obviously, that's going to make me lighter, less weight to carry over the finish line. So it was interesting. So the one thing I didn't count on was not being one of the slow ones. I mean, I was, comparatively. I was obviously not an elite. They have the corral. The first corral is for elites, and then 1, 2, 3. I chose the third of 4 corrals, and I figured that would be about right. Normally, I'm super way in the back, and I had to do a lot of bouncing around the slower people, like to get in front of them. And I've never had to do that before. Usually I'm the slow one and people are going around me. So it was interesting. I had a lot of sore muscles in my hips and my inner thighs the next day. And I realized that those were the muscles that I was using to sort of jog around the people. Yeah, it was funny. That was one of the first things I told my husband when he picked me up. I'm like, I had to go around a bunch of people, and it was weird. And he laughed. He's like, oh, well, maybe we'll move you up a corral or two next time. And I was like, well, I don't know about all that, but it was interesting because that was the soreness that I noticed. Other things that I noticed that weren't sore, my feet. My feet have always been blistery and just sore on the bottom, and they were fine, absolutely fine. All the whole rest of the day, the next day, no issues whatsoever. And I realized that I hadn't realized in a very long time that my bum ankle hasn't been hurting me, like, at all. And that's huge. Like, I've mentioned it before that I have a bum ankle, and I've never had it looked at because I don't want to find that I need surgery or whatever. And it wasn't enough to constitute going to a doctor. It was just every so often I'd walk a certain way and I'd get a shooting pain in my ankles, sometimes in my Achilles, sometimes in the side, but it was always like a shooting pain, and then it would usually go away after. Sometimes it would last a whole day if I was wearing like the wrong shoes, which is why I don't wear heels anymore. I have to have a certain type of shoe because if I didn't, I would just get those shooting pains all the time. And when I was thinking about it and I was evaluating what was sore and what hurt after, I realized that I haven't had that pain in a really long time. And it has to be the weight loss. It has to be the working out. And so that's just a super great bonus that I didn't count on, and I'm really, really happy about. So, knock wood, it stays away, and I don't have to deal with that again. I'm not going to run out and start wearing wedges or heels again anytime soon, but I maybe might test the waters a little bit with some different shoes. But so that was cool. What else? Oh, I ended up running the whole thing in my mask because my thought process was, and this goes back to usually being the slow one, my thought process was, well, in all the other races that I've ever done, everybody goes in front of me and then there's like no one around me for a while. And I thought, oh, I'll just take off my mask when that happens. And that didn't happen because I wasn't as slow as normal, and I just kept up with the crowd. So, honestly, it wasn't bad. I mean, I wear it at work, and I've worn them right along because during the shutdown, I always had to go to work, and it's just, after probably the first mile or mile and a half, I didn't notice it other than to just adjust it every so often. And then I got wet because it was foggy and the condensation from my breath, but it wasn't horrible. So I ended up finishing in about an hour and a half, and that was my goal. So I didn't think I'd meet that goal, but that was my goal, and so I was really psyched that I was able to do it. And I'm aware that is still on the slow side, but for me, that was like 20 minutes off the last time that I ever finished at. So I'm perfectly okay with it. And especially for not putting in a lot of distance running. I would do the treadmill. The week leading up, I did the treadmill for all of my exercise. So an hour on the treadmill every day. But I didn't do like a lot of speed. I did it at 3 miles an hour and incline of 7. But yeah, it was cool. I finished. I wasn't sure. I think the last time I talked to you guys how we were gonna do the start or the finish, because Rob had moved where his band was playing. So they were at mile 1. So I just walked the mile to the start line, just nice leisurely pace because I wasn't about to try and expend my energy right away before the race even started. But I walked the mile to the start line, and then because we were there so early because he had to do the setup, I had to wait around for like an hour. So that was really boring, and it was freezing. but I did not bring a jacket. So next time I know I'm going to bring like a cheap sweatshirt that I can just ditch. Then I ended up finishing. There was a Whole Foods near the finish line, so it was about a half a mile away. So I just finished, went down, got my packet, and came back up. It was a really steep hill to get up there, but after I was like slow. I was like, I don't care. I'm not trying to beat anybody right now. I just walked it as slow as possible. And I got to him and I felt good. I did cry. I always cry at the end of a race just because it's very cathartic. But normally I cry a lot longer because I'm in pain. But I wasn't in pain. I did a few stretches and I threw on my sweatshirt that I had in the car and I was like, let's go home. And we went home and we did end up taking like an hour nap, but I felt okay. So I feel like I did a good job. And I don't normally normally I just am glad to have finished at all and not have like the truck pick me up on the way. So I feel good about how I did. I didn't take a lot of pictures because I was just focused on the race. Yeah, so sorry. And plus I need to get a new hydration belt. Anybody have any suggestions? Please put your comments down below because I am looking for a hydration belt that has, I don't care how many water bottles, I don't care what the size, but hopefully more in the middle than on the sides. The one that I wore for this one is too big now, and it has the water bottles on each side of my hip, and I keep clipping them with my thumbs. So I'm looking for something that has them more in the middle, but I also want the little pocket to be big enough to hold my phone and hopefully have like some compartments for like my ID and a credit card just in case, because who knows what happens. I would like to be able to have the option to have a little bit of cash, a little bit of like an ID and a credit card, but safely so I know that they won't fall out when I pull out my phone. So any suggestions that you guys have for a really good, well-made hydration belt, not horribly expensive, but I don't mind paying for quality, put a comment down below. I would really, really appreciate it. I've looked on Amazon, but the reviews are just so mixed that I'm just like, I really want to find the one that just is just amazing and everybody just loves. So your suggestions would be very, very helpful. So yeah, that was the race. I am proud of myself, and I don't really often say that. So it was cool. I'm glad I did it. My husband was the next day, he's like, you're going to regret not signing up for the half marathon in Vegas, because we signed up for the 10K in Vegas in February. Because I didn't know. I was like, I don't know, let's just get through this one and then we'll worry about that, but sign up for the 10K so it doesn't sell out. After the race, he was like, you're going to regret not signing up for the half marathon. I can see it. You're getting that goal-oriented training look in your eye. And I was like, no, no, I'm good. I think my half marathon days are over. I feel like I'm in much better shape than I have been when I did those before. I'm too old now in the shape that I am to do them. And I don't want to have to kill myself training to do them. So right now I want to be at the level where I am and just be proud of myself for doing some 10Ks, and we'll see how we go in the future. But right now I'm cool with where I am. Let's just leave it at that right now. Let's just get to Wonderland, okay? God. All right, well, I've rambled on long enough, as per usual. So if you enjoyed any part of this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, consider subscribing. I am somewhere like 10 subscribers away from hitting 1,000, so that would be really cool. Say you're on the fence right now, you're watching this and you're like, I don't know if I really want to subscribe. Maybe just subscribe, just to check me out, and that would be cool, because it would be nice to get to 1,000. Not that I think this channel has any capacity for monetization. far too lazy for that. But it would be cool to get to 1,000. I think that's a nice little number, isn't it? So anyway, subscribe if you'd like, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.